again I felt myself move in the spirit and move back in time. And I found myself in this interior of a palatial home that used to dot Fifth Avenue at the turn of the century. These 60, 70, 80-room mansions. As I entered, there were 3 generations present. One invisible, but he dominated the entire household. The 2 generations that were visible were discussing this invisible one who they referred to as grandfather. And while standing on an empty lot, he would say, and paint the most wonderful word picture as he said it, I remember when this was an empty lot. And then he would paint the most fantastic word picture of his desire for that lot. It was that concept of life that made a fortune for him. It was that fortune that the 2 generations were now enjoying. But they didn't know his secret. They only told it as a story. Well, I came back, the whole thing was so vividly impressed upon my mind that I wrote it out. I returned to bed to redream the entire dream, with one exception. In the second dream, as I entered the mansion, seeing the same people, I was grandfather. Then I turned to the 2 generations present, and I would tell them, I remember when this was an empty lot. And then I painted the word picture of my desire for that lot by saying to someone or saying of someone, I remember when they were unemployed. If today they are unemployed, within their mind's eye, I remember when he was unemployed. If I remember when he was, I am implying he is not now. I remember when he didn't make 10,000 a year. If I say I remember when he didn't make 10,000 a year, I am implying he makes in excess of 10,000 now. If I want to push it up, I can say I remember when he did not make 20,000 a year. That would imply his income is in excess of 20,000 a year. I remember when he was just a weakling. I am implying he is not a weakling any longer. So you can take this technique and apply it to anything in the world. I remember when she was madly in love with one that I disapproved of. What could I do about it? But I remember when that was a problem. Therefore, it's no longer a problem. You can take this same attitude towards every problem in the world and bring about the solution. And you can do this with everything in the world. Now, this is something that I did not induce. Visions are things you do not sit down and induce at will. No power in the world can sit and induce a vision.
And replay this scene over and over again. You know, you're having fun with this. Just make this really vivid, this whole scene. And when you can do that, when you get so soaked in and absorbed into that reality in the future, okay, you're making the future now though, so it doesn't feel like it's in the future. You're making it feel like it's right now. Okay, but as it's right now, you're looking back to when you're sitting in your house or apartment, creating the scene that you're actually in now. So the past event is you in the past creating now. So you're looking, you make the future now, and as you make it now, you make it so real and vivid. You look back into the past of when you're actually creating, which is actually right now. But your future creation actually feels so real to you that you're making it now. You're making 2028 or 2023 on this cruise line ship, or in this house, or on this vacation, or driving this Maserati or Lamborghini. You make it so real that you're driving it, that you're looking back and you're laughing. You're like, oh my God, I remember when I created this. Man, I'm thinking back to when I created this, when I was back in that crappy house. And you're like, oh my God, I remember when I created this scene. But actually, you are actually creating it right then. That's when you've done it. That's when you will get to that event.